Stupid kid.
Flirting peek with my friends. I mentioned you were streaming it. Oh, okay. Don't leave. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's unfortunate timing for sure. I did say I was gonna stream today though, later tonight. Do not leave. I don't want to be hated. Both of you guys are insane. Like, finish up what y'all doing. The stream gets recorded forever. This is not Twitch. It won't get deleted. You can see what you missed. Ah, sorry. I'll say that's my cat. Dude jumped right in my water bottle as I was closing it down. She nice. Go back to Resident Evil. Nothing's even gonna happen right now too. This is just a bunch of nothing burger right now, this chapter. See, Goda's on the screen. That's how you know that's gonna happen. Goda was doing the nighttime routine rounds. Roginjima had always been empty except for the Ushiriya family household. So checking that the doors and windows were all closed had no real purpose. However, ever since the time Natsuki had condemned such an attitude as being careless, the nighttime rounds had become part of the servant's daily routine. In the first place, Natsuki had ordered this because of the occasional witch disturbances. I forgot to close Firefox. There you go. Keeping my memory back. Everyone who came and left this island knew about the legend of Beatrice, the witch of the forest. That does line up perfectly on my chat as well on the right. Good job. Everyone who came and left this island knew about the legend of Beatrice, but the witch of the forest, it had become established as this island's characteristic ghost story. Alright, like, completely random out of nowhere. Like, I should have said this before. But this one is the one that's breaking the camel's back. If I hear Beatrice being explained one more time, I get it. She's the witch of the forest. I get it. Because of that, it was only natural that some people would claim that when they thought they were alone in the mansion, they would hear a strange sound or see the shadow of a person. That was the first time I've heard that. However, when they created a little too much of a disturbance and reached Natsuki's ears, she made a fuss thinking that some suspicious person might have been entering and leaving. Apparently she had roused all the servants and had them checked throughout the mansion. See ya, Tomate. Enjoy your peak session. May you reach the peak, as they say. And yes, Sams will always be the kind message giver. Because of all the picnic over the witch had happened before Goda's arrival, he had only heard about it from the more senior servants. Ghost stories like that could be found in any workplace, even at the hotels and restaurants Goda had worked on. There have been plenty of them. So when he heard about that story on this island, he'd give it a forced smile, thinking, so they have that kind of thing up here after all. That forced smile aside, he had figured that when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and had taken it seriously. Goda went along with it on the outside, but in his heart, he'd assumed it had to be a childish trick. At first, that is. I don't know. This is weird. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna need to make a okay, well, lucky for Ruby Tomato, he won't miss nothing. I'm gonna waste 2 hours right now thinking of something. I'm gonna read chat first. But I said, did you know that Beatrice is the witch ghost hidden in the forest? Well, Phoenix, I don't like spoilers. Why did you do? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take your mod away. There's no point in playing anymore. That seems like a pretty big twist. Okay, wait, where's my notes? Okay, so I was saying, I feel because they're making such a big deal of Goda being like the newest employee, and Goda wasn't there when Kinso went up in flames. What? I meant to click another button. What did I just do? Whatever. I feel like I need to make a defense about the last episode of Goda not being a culprit. Okay, so in the murder of Jessica, easily explained because he wasn't there. Shannon or Genji could have come, killed Jessica and Kanon, and then left and locked the door with the master key that they have, the servant key I mean. Master key is the right word. Then with Kumasawa and Nanjo, it just doesn't work because the whole what my theory hinged on was the gimmick of the wolves and sheep. With Kumasawa and Nanjo, no, because I assumed that Kumasawa was one of the wolves as well. So they would still be equal. It would be 2 wolves, Kumasawa and Shannon, and 2 sheep, Nanjo and Goda. But why is Goda alive after that instead of... I guess it's easier to explain. You can just say that they used Kanon's dead body to distract Goda, while Kumasawa and Shannon killed Nanjo, and then Kumasawa left with Nanjo's body and killed herself, as I said. So maybe it's a stretch, but we can use Kanon's dead body and the commotion around that as an excuse to say that Goda was distracted or shocked. The hard one is the last one with George, because that is uneven. That is just 1 wolf, Shannon, and 2 sheep, George and Goda. Where was Genji during that? Genji was with Eva. Well, he wasn't with Eva, but he was in the servant room. So it's either that it was uneven, so it doesn't make sense anymore, or we can say that Kinso was taking the place of Beatrice during that scene, which makes it even again. Kinso and Shannon being the wolves, George and Goda being the sheep. So I guess that's a defense there, but I don't know. Overall, I think it doesn't make sense, and I think that in episode 2, Goda was converted to be part of Kinso's furniture, like fully, like Shannon and Genji. And I think right here in episode 3 what we're seeing is that Goda's still not fully on board, but once things get going, that's when he gets on board. So I guess I have a semi-defense for it. It's not the best, but it's something. Anyways, let's continue.
This certainly is eerie, yes. I can see why it was so easy for past servants to get this into a panic.
He could understand how someone doing the rounds on an eerie night like this might believe they've seen a ghost if they saw a lace curtain waving in the breeze from a window that hadn't been closed.
So if you make fun of the witch of the portrait, there's a curse. It seems there was even a servant who received a serious injury and quit. Well, I wouldn't want that. Think of my age. I probably wouldn't be granted a workplace as hospitable again. Witch of the portrait. I'm working sincerely, so please give me some peace.
Goda prayed to the portrait, his hands together as though he was at a Shinto shrine. I'm such a fake. I was feeding my dogs. We should starve for Umineko. Don't they know better? You haven't missed much. All you missed was me trying to make a defense about the episode 2 murders if Goda was not in on it. I kinda did. My defense was that during Nanjo's death, Goda was distracted by Kanon's dead body. so he wasn't fully cognitive when Shannon and Kumasawa jumped Nanjo. And then during George's death, I said that Kinso took the place of Beatrice during that scene. So Kinso and Shannon equaled out the two sheep, George and Goga, and killed them. It's a weak defense, but it's something. That's all. One second. I have returned. How long was that? Oh my gosh. I didn't even have time to at least give an estimation because I didn't think it would take so long. Yeah, okay. Huge apologies for that. That was awful. That's terrible timing. Yo, what is that emoji, Sams? That emote is so bad. Ew, that's horrible. Can I copy paste it in here? Crap, it doesn't let me. I wish I could share that emoji. That's so bad. I hate that thing. Wilted gulp. Okay, what I missed in the chat. I died. No way Ruby came back like immediately after I went AFK. This guy. Well, I mean he's still playing, he just died. I bet he left. I bet he left the moment I came back. Oh, why do you do that? I froze to death, that's rough. I'm over here in dead cam and peak and streamer's not even here, just live cam. Funny enough, the constant rain sounds good. Oh, that's good. You just abandoned us. I'm sorry. I just someone was calling me. I was like, okay, it's gonna be quick. They just want something, but now they want to have a whole conversation. I'm like, oh, please. Okay. Anyways, explain. Gonna pray to the portrait, his hands together as though he was on Shinto shrine. At the time, he thought he heard a sound. The kitchen? Was it the sound of something metal falling to the floor? Maybe a mouse or a cockroach had come out and knocked over some of the dishes? So this guy, Ruby, actually did leave the moment I came back. Okay, no, he left like 10 minutes before. That's rough. Maybe a mouse or a cockroach had come out and knocked over some of the dishes? No, how could that be? It was unusually clean thoroughly. Thinking he checked out what the noise really had been, Goda entered the kitchen. Hello, Ruby Tomate. Welcome back. I am not dead this time. He turned on the kitchen light. When he did, he heard a strange sound. Clank, 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 clank. To a cook like Goda, the sound felt like the lid on a pressure cooker or something shaking. Surely there wouldn't be a pot or on the burner where no one was in the kitchen. Even if someone was using the gas, walking away from it would be quite dangerous. Just in case, Goda decided to inspect the area around the gas range.
What is this?
As he did, in the corner with the gas range, the pressure cooker really had been set out just as he thought. But the flame wasn't on, and yet the lid was clanking. Was something fermenting and leaking gas? How could that be? Then, was there a mouse or something inside? How could there be? Ridiculous. When people were watching, Goda acted as though he had a bold personality fitting for his build. But he actually had an unexpectedly timid side to him. He was frightened that there might be something inside, and he couldn't bring himself to check it carelessly. In his cowardice, he grabbed a nearby wooden pestle, and with a clunk, he tapped it a little forcefully against the side of the pressure cooker. When he did, the clanking sound suddenly stopped. He should have been relieved that it had stopped, but the fact that it had stopped when he hit it was even more eerie. And made him even more suspicious about that what was inside.
Gulp! Mysterious phenomena do not exist in this world. Yes, witches and magic, things like that couldn't possibly exist. All phenomena can be explained with science. That's what I'm saying. Okay, maybe I judged Goda too harshly again. Gulp? As if monsters and witches could exist.
He repeated that many times, trying to build up his own confidence. The gap between what he was saying and what he was doing was quite comical. You and Gola are two sides of the same coin.
Who would believe in a witch? Who would believe in magic or curses?
That's what I'm saying.
Come on, show me what you really are. Take that!
He removed the lid of the pressure cooker, and lying exposed there was a sparkling clean silver bottom of the pot. There was absolutely nothing frightening like he'd imagined.
It's only natural, and there was no way there could have been anything inside.
By now, Gola realized that he had been a coward. So while he still had some doubts as to what had caused the lid to make that sound, he figured it wasn't a big problem and decided not to worry about it too much. Then he took the lid he grabbed and softly set it back down where he had been. It's fine, it won't make a sound. Of course it won't, as if witches or magic could exist. GG's. Clank. Clank, 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 clank.
Huh?
Clank, clank, clank. All of the pots and dishes in the kitchen started clanking at once. It grew even stronger, so that finally the lid to one of the pots fell off. And from inside the pot, a slender white arm reached out. Lids fell off other pots, one after another, and another, and another.
As if witches can exist! As if I'd believe it!
With the number of arms grew to 7, a loud shrill laughter spit the air. What a letdown! Too bad that someone who can make such delicious food is such a lightweight. If you don't want him, I'll take him. He's all mine. Wait, I said no! I'll take him. The wind is mighty fierce today. Come on, let's search. There's only one more. That old hag. Where is she? She isn't in the mansion. What about the guest house? Cookie, first one wins, right? Come on, search, find her. Don't be noticed by the relatives in the dining hall, right? And don't get noticed by the kids in the guest house, right? Search in silence, kill in silence. After all, it's still just the first twilight. She isn't in the guest house. But she wasn't in the mansion either, right? Hey, I found her. She's in the rose garden. Why is she standing around there without an umbrella? She's already given up. Oh mine. You blockheads can just sit there and watch. I told you no, this one's mine. Come on, if we take any longer, we'll be scolded by Battery-sama. Let's take care of it all at once. There, found her, surround her. Come on, let's get along and do it all at once, okay? Die! Oh! She's cracked? Huh? What? What is this? What naughty girl! You wouldn't happen to be friends with that child, would you? Just what is this old hag? There's got to be some mistake. One more time. Why can't she defend against us? Move aside. One more time. No matter how often you try, it won't work. This person is good. I was waiting for that child. Would you mind calling for her? Did you really expect us to run errands for you like that? I think this makes a lot of sense. Because she hasn't shown this before. Meaning that the other time she's died, she's went on her own terms. Like she was ordered to or some such. In episode 1, very likely that all the servants were ordered by Kinso to kill themselves or kill others. Episode 2, again, very obvious that she was a suicide. So here in episode 3, it might be that Kinso didn't order Kumasawa to do anything and he's actually just trying to kill her normally. And that's why she's actually defending herself for once. So I think it makes sense. There's no need. Beatrice-sama! After all, even I have manifested by now. I was certain that you had awakened. No then. It's been a long time. Yes, truly a long time. This person's taken to Runabe-sama without using Sama! And it's been a long time since I've seen you too, Beatrice. She's not even using Sama for Beatrice-sama! Enough. Don't you know who this is? No. This won't do at all. It's no good. It makes sense. It's not thoroughly broken. I just don't like it because, again, I'm having that moment of my headcanon being really satisfied. So now I'm just sad that it isn't true. Because it still works, you know. Back to the flashback we saw with the Beatrice Sr. That was Kumasawa. And she was talking to Beatrice Jr. and taught her magic and all that. But then, where did Beatrice Jr. come from? The non-homunculus version. No, you know, honestly, I don't think it changes anything. All it changes is that I thought Beatrice Sr. was the mistress, but she wasn't. She was just another servant. So I think there was just another woman, the actual mistress, who was not named Beatrice, whatever her name is. The actual mistress was someone else that we haven't seen. The actual mother of Beatrice. And Beatrice Sr. was just a younger Kumasawa who was also a servant back in the day. So yeah, everything still makes sense. Nothing got broken. I just don't like it. But it's fine. It's whatever. I guess it would have been too much to show Beatrice's mother and the mistress too early. There we go. We're all good. I just over-exaggerated on my reaction. We're good. We're still in. Nothing's off. We're still in. Enough. Don't you know who this is? The name Beatrice itself is hers. I only inherited it from her. this is my teacher. And if it turns out that Kumasawa is Beatrice's mother, I would hate that even more. I would dislike it, but it still works, I guess. It would mean that Kinso really did see his mistress as just a tool, just fun, a toy, I mean. But what he truly fell in love with was their creation together, their daughter, little baby Beatrice. And that is what he became obsessed with, because he saw it as magic to create such special life. For some reason he saw her as special. So yeah, no matter what happens with this, it all still works, my theory. I just dislike it. But we'll see. Let him cook. Let him cook. The previous Lady Beatrice. The previous Lady Beatrice? Wood butterflies appeared in ones and twos from the garden of roses and began to gather around Kumasawa. Then, after she was wrapped in a gold sparkle, she burst and disappeared, and Kumasawa's form was no longer there. I am not changing her voice. Instead, there was another golden witch, the one who once taught the path of an endless witch to Beatrice, and the only person Beatrice ever called teacher. Her hair was long, beautiful, and vividly youthful, and her figure in the elegant dress could possibly have been mistaken for an old lady. No, this looked like a completely different person from Kumasawa. Well, teacher. I never even dreamed that we would meet each other again. Yes, neither did I. I certainly never dreamed that my sleep would be disturbed. Such a troublesome time for you to awaken. If you remain asleep as usual, the first toilet could have been did without much trouble. But perhaps I should be glad you're here. I was just getting a tad bored. As usual, it seems you're tied with similar people in that vulgar game. I believe I taught you several times that the power of the endless witch mustn't be used to cause people trouble. Don't say that, teacher. Isn't boredom our natural enemy? This is just a little spice to escape from that. The more the corrosion advances, the stronger my power becomes, and the easier it becomes to summon my minions. But who would have thought that it would release a seal on you, teacher, at the same time? Also, pause, Shaq, pause image. I really like the implications of this. It means that I wonder if Genji too. But for now, we only have Kumasawa as confirmation. But it means that Kinso did allow servants to go into the other mansion with his mistress. So let's again, like is my point, ignoring magic. Let's ignore the magic connotations to this. Kumasawa, this senior Beatrice, it was just another servant, and she was so kind to little Beatrice. And possibly, like, if I'm correct, that Beatrice's mother killed herself. Like, Beatrice had no one in her youth, right? So, Kumasawa was possibly like her only friend, and I just find that really sweet. She was there for her when no one else was. I'm going to assume only Kumasawa and Genji were allowed in the other mansion, and I'm not even sure about Genji, but it's just sweet that she could have someone in the mansion. I like that a lot. It's precisely because I predicted such a thing would occur that I stepped so very close to where you were, though I prayed in my sleep that I would not be awoken again. Being reunited with you like this is a very sad thing for me. You're as cunning as always, teacher. Runobe, have the young furniture... Oh, Runobe, have the young furniture step back. Furniture only serves its master. The master is responsible for all of her crimes. Certainly, Madame Beatrice. I have already passed that name on to this child. Come now, step back. Furniture goes. I may give warnings a second time if you did not listen to the first. However, you don't expect to receive a third. Step back, Seven Sisters of Purgatory. If you get dragged into this, the only dust will remain.
Back, everyone. Runova and the Seven Sisters of Purgatory retreated.
After that, what remained was the Beatrice whose daring expression didn't falter, and the teacher Beatrice who had given up that name and wore a composed smile.
Well then, teacher, what tea shall I prepare for a long-awaited reunion? A shame. Their reunion was longer in coming than the visit of a comet. Perhaps I will accept your hospitality. And if it seems a mistake has been made, I'll have you return my name and the title of Endless Witch. So even the title of Endless Witch is a license renewal policy. As you wish, teacher. See how splendid your disciple has become. And see how far she surpassed you so long ago.
The air between the two Beatrices seemed to explode with sparks. Pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna need the manga panels for this one. Obviously, you're in peak right now, but hopefully you can remember after you're done. Just by glaring at each other, they purged those spirits into space. As they watched, the Seven Sisters shivered. After all, if they had retreated just 3 steps less than they had, they would have already been turned to dust by now.
So come, Beatrice. Surrendering my name to you is the only regret I have in life. I will now correct that error by mine own hands. Tisk. You've got it wrong, teacher. My only error was becoming your disciple in the hopes of gaining such a puny level of power. Get it? What are you calling magic? What are you calling the Endless Witch? All you've got is the power that can be gained just by noticing, right? And you act as though that's so great and impressive. Your turn's long over, teacher. Whoa! Red shoe steak?
Holy moly. I don't have a clue what's going on anymore. Yeah, I'm with you here. What in the world is happening right in front of my eyes? Why are you here?
Oh, you poor thing. It seems only my disciple is causing you trouble. I apologize.
Who the heck are you? Why did Orkumo-sama turn into a Necha like this? I mean, seriously, who are you? I don't get it. What kind of special effects are these? My head feels like it's gonna explode.
I am the witch teacher of that child. My old name was Beatrice. When that child succeeded me, I gave up that name, so I have no name of my own.
Like you've already said, your disciple's been a real pain in the ass to me. Please take responsibility and do something. No, wait. I don't believe it's done like this. As if witches and magics could exist. I don't accept this messed up battle. Damn it, what should I believe?
That's just like you. Hospitality with a very quick temper. I expect nothing less from you, teacher. It seems this is so trivial to you. You don't even feel like opening your eyes. But I doubt you'll be able to win unless you're prepared to wreck this whole island, see? Come, arise, shoulder war towers!
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
In response to Beatrice's summons, a terrific earth tremor split the rose garden. And on the either side of their shoulders, 2 massive war towers sprouted and stabbed into the heavens. It's heaven's fall. They stretched up to 100 mirute tall, and each had over 360 ports.
They were war towers of the gods' army corps, which had prevented even groups of ancient heroes from invading their sacred grounds. As Beatrice elegantly floated in the gap between the massively two-headed towers, she looked down on her teacher, sneering with a sense of absolute superiority. When the two massive towers lined up behind her shoulders, the witch looked very small, like a butterfly dancing between huge trees. Don't think you can dodge if I turn into butterflies, okay? The destiny of the Twin Towers bearing wouldn't just leave you with a pin bug sample. How to make you a madly stabbed pin cushion, right? Over 720 ports open in the towers and godly soldiers reach their multi-shot ballistas. Dude. Is that the end of your turn? Famous last words. Blast away! Oh my gosh! The ballista shot that numbered over 1,000 were all fired at once, drawing a beautiful geometric curtain of death. The boorish sounds as the bowstrings were played was probably even deeper than that of a reaper swinging his sickle. Come, arise, fallen tower. Split the Singer's language and let the sin be known. He's going to summon the Tower of Babel. The sky was stained in incandescent red, and from between the clouds a blazing massive tower fell upside down. The massive fallen tower and its rubble sucked in thousands of ballista shots so that not one of them approached the body of the witch who had summoned it. That's right, no group of people, no matter how large, could approach the mysteries of heaven. That was the reality of the fallen tower. As I expect from you, teacher, if you do something, you always do it big. My turn isn't over. Come, arise, sons of Ivaldi. Bestow upon me a worthy spear. Isn't that a Norse thing? Is she gonna get what's his name? I forgot the name of Odin's spear. As the massive crimson tower that had fallen made a terrible gold color explosion, a massive spear appeared from inside those flames, so tall like a tower you had to look up to see all of it. It was too large even for a giant's hand. The divinity's beautiful spear of the gods was so massive it gave the illusion that the fallen tower had turned into a spear of the same size. It was a spear of certain victory that none could escape. Looks like your twin towers won't help you now. How foolish to block off your means of escape on both sides. You can't defend against even a single spear. When she snapped her fingers in command, the massive tower-sized spear shot at Beatrice like a lightning bolt. It aimed right from the middle of the center of the Golden Witch's heart with extreme precision, as she danced in the gap between the towers like a butterfly, slicing straight through the air like a flash of lightning. So you used... It really was Gungnir. So you use Gungnir at a moment like this? You really are an incredible teacher! Burst, useless towers! Arise, giant soldier battle line! Fully block the divine spear with your shields and chests! The shoulder ward towers exploded in gold. They became several billion gold butterflies. Those butterflies took the shape of 7 massive armored soldiers, each stretched full 15 merutan to the sky, and they lined up in front of Beatrice, protecting their master and holding their massive shields that towered like windmills. What? Dude! They were as massive as a mountain range. The witch behind them was like a small moon hiding behind the mountains. Once in the past, when the massive shields these giants held had been ready by the whole regiment, they had protected King Wilhelm's castle not only from arrows, but from the wind and the rain. For when they had faced upwards and held their shields to the heavens, not a single raindrop had gotten through. Foolish.
The shame of which you had forgotten to respect things sacred. Did you think mere giants could defend against the spear of the gods?
Indeed. No matter how much human metal you are armed with, you cannot block the spear of the gods. A wonderful apology by Madame.
No way. Beatrix-sama! Of course I haven't forgotten, teacher. Come, arise, disciples of Hephaestus! Bestow upon me a worthy shield.
They're bringing out all the mythology. A golden whirlwind arose at the feet of the giant soldiers. It was a cloud of countless butterflies. They attached themselves to the massive shields like gold leaves sparkling like they were a gold mirror. It was the absolute defensive wall given to a goddess by the chief of the gods. The Aegis shield. That's Athena's shield. When the holy spear, which left a dignified tail behind it like a comet, crashed into the mountain range of that gold shield, there was a terrible thunderous roar. It was the cracking of the pillars that held up the heavens. The divine spear spun around and round, and was sent flying in the direction of the setting sun. Impossible! She defended against the divine spear! No, that is not correct. The divine spear avoided her. It is the law of the gods that an absolute spear and an absolute shield must never fight one another. Although in the end it means the same thing as defending against it.
Your skills have improved from engaging in these fights so often. Or rather, it seems you're still as bad as ever as the king of game teacher, at this kind of game teacher. It's my turn to strike back. I shall follow the code and counter a spear with a spear.
The giant soldier battle line, which had fully blocked the divine spear, raised its holy gold shields. The shields fell to the earth, making the ground shake. When they did, another gold whirlwind arose, and the 7 gold shields changed their form into 7 massive spears of lightning lying on the ground. At once, each of the giants lifted one of their legs high and firmly stomped on the tips of the handles. Dude! As the earth shook with a thunderous sound, the 7 lightning spears spun beautifully and flew up above the giant soldiers' heads. They scattered into a golden splash and began to fall before the giants. Each of the giants squared off, and with the force of their whole body, they kicked and smashed them. The broken pieces numbered exactly 30 and became lightning spears of exactly the same size as the originals, which made 210 for the 7 giants, and all of those burst at once, which then split into 34 thorns for a total of 6,300. They became a barrage of thunderclouds, drawing a beautiful geometric pattern. And then each changed into 3 bolts of lightning, so that 18,900 thunderbolts shot at the predecessor Beatrice. It's over! Beatrice-sama! I would expect nothing less from Madame. That bundle of almost 20,000 thunderbolts must have reduced the teacher's body to dust. But there had been no resistance. Beatrice knew immediately that she had been fooled. At that time, in the direction that the sun had supposedly set, she felt the impossible rays of sunlight. A brilliant ray of light shone on her profile. In the figure of her teacher holding aloft the spear of the gods that had supposedly been repelled a short while ago, she bore a sparkle like the sun on her back and made it shine at the incarnation of darkness. As Beatrice watched, she was trapped like a mouse in a cage cornered in a dead end formed by the giant soldiers' battle line. By now, the predecessor Beatrice had seized a position directly alongside that line. Playtime is over, Beatrice. Have I exposed my flag? Her bold expression hadn't faltered even once, but now it twisted for the first time. And faster than Beatrice could click her tongue, the predecessor Beatrice released the holy sphere as it leapt through the air and changed its form once more. Come,
Arise, Gravgar brothers! Bestow upon me the giant smashing iron hammer of heaven!
There's no way. There's no way.
Giant soldiers, protect me! What are you doing, you blockheads?
By now it was no longer a spear, but the whirlwind of a massive hanger that raised a sound like a windstorm as it flew through the air. It was a legendary hammer that has shaken even the king of the frost giants. It is Mjolnir. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to be wrong. So the giant soldiers couldn't escape from that fear. So regardless of how strongly their master ordered them, they couldn't get in the path of that hammer.
Back rank mate! Rest in peace!
Before the whirlwind of that massive chunk of metal, Bathory was nothing more than a mere speck. The instant the whirlwind started to suck Bathory, he appeared to change into a massive mortal. Dude. The iron hammer smashed the war towers, scattering tremendous amounts of rubble, but it did not reach she who had escaped behind it. Furthermore, when the smoke started to settle, the war tower had sucked in the massive iron hammer without crumbling and blocked the way. Even the giant smashing iron hammer couldn't break through the final tower protecting the witch. However, this war tower was actually the witch's last trump card. It was a war tower for dodging that could only save her from danger once. But this tower was impregnable. No weapon could break through it. At that time, the moon disappeared. As Beatrice hid in the shadow of the giant soldier battle line in the war tower, she looked up at the sky.
Dude!
When she did, inside the moon was the figure of a massive horse ridden by the god of war and death. The predecessor Beatrice rose the horse with him. His cloak had blocked the moon and swallowed it in an eerie shadow, and the spear of the gods was in his hand once more. In other words, it was a godly knight who had jumped over the ramparts formed by the giant soldiers in the war tower attacking from the heavens.
God! Smothered mother! It was fun, Beatrice!
The struggle to the death between the two witches with the same name was over. The spear that had been launched from the heavens pierced the ground. The giant soldier battle line in the war tower split into countless gold butterflies, wrapping the area in a gold-colored storm. Then came the sound of thunder, and the sound of the falling rain and wind. If you looked around, the rose garden was empty. The butler and the rest were watching the two witches confronted each other, but Beatrice alone had changed. She had been pierced straight through by the spear from the base of her neck and her right shoulder to her left buttocks, unable to even reach the ground with her feet, horribly exposed like a pitiful pink butterfly tormented by the wind and rain.
Beatrice-sama!
As expected, a truly fearsome person.
That settles it. Beatrice. Ouch!
Beatrice wore a bitter smile of false courage, but a strain of blood dangled from her mouth, making her look even more pitiful. The title and power of the Endless Witch. Oh, the title and power of the Endless Witch. You will return them to me now, along with the name Beatrice.
You are too immature to call yourself an Endless Witch. Stop. Forgive me, teacher. I was just fooling around. Okay. I will take my name back from you. I shall return you to your original form. Perhaps you should relinquish this power which is beyond you. Live a life suitable for yourself. Come, try to remember. What form did you have?
The predecessor Beatrice began to recite the words of power. When she did, small gold butterflies gathered near the skewered Beatrice and began to swarm about her. Like butterflies sucking the nectar of flowers, they began to suck the magical power out of Beatrice, and it seemed to cause her intense pain. A cry of anguish issued from Beatrice's mouth. She no longer had any power to resist it.
Come, try closing your eyes. Try to remember. What form did you have? Come, Beatrice, repeat it with me. Let us sing a song once more. Then it will be over soon. Let us end your pain as fast as possible. You were right. How long has it been since I've sung with you, teacher? Come together now. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Come. No, come, try to remember. What form did you have?
When the two of them began to recite the same song, more and more gold butterflies danced around, swarming around Beatrice.
It will be all right, my lady. You will lose your place as my disciple, but that will not change the fact that you are the lady that I serve. After that, I shall read a book for you again. I shall bake you apple pies once more, just like it was long ago. Come, try to remember. Yes, try to remember. Are you finally starting to remember? Hey, teacher, did you remember the thing behind you? What is this?
When the predecessor Beatrice looked behind her, there was an eerie hedgehog curled up there. No. It was herself. There was another predecessor Beatrice whose body had been packed with ballista shots, lying there like a pincushion doll.
Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Or maybe that's not right. Come, try to remember. How were you killed?
The princess of Beatrice was stunned. Her form gradually began to fade away.
This is... When did you... At the beginning, I did not summon a pair of shoulder towers. There were 4 towers. Teacher, you carelessly stepped across the 7th rank rook boundary of death created by the 2 hidden towers, which was lurking in the distance on either side of you. It was bad manners of you to say check this late. I simply must apologize.
The battle hadn't been decided at the very beginning. It had been over since the time the predecessor had leaned forward, readying her holy spear to attack Beatrice, who had been wedged between her shoulder towers. The hidden towers lurking on either side had bathed her in a windstorm of ballista shots from 720 ports on both sides, pinning and killing her. However, Beatrice hadn't wanted it to be resolved like that. She had wanted to let her teacher take her next move and had continued acting as though the game was still on. She had immediately revived her with the endless power and had made her continue the game as though nothing had happened. Then the predecessor slowly remembered that she had already been killed and began to vanish completely. When she did, the spear she had pierced Beatrice also vanished. Beatrice finally landed on the ground. There wasn't even a trace of a scar.
It was fun, teacher. If you want to play again, I'll revive you anytime. And once we've had some fun, I'll make you remember that you're a corpse again. See? I did everything you told me to, right?
Didn't you tell me to always put my toys back in their boxes when I'm done playing with them?
Was it easy, Victory?
You fool, it was a tough one! If I hadn't tricked her with the 4 towers, I would have been one dead. As I'd expect from teacher. But now I can stand proud. Now I have completely surpassed teacher. Run of it. Clean up teacher's remains a bit. I haven't lost my respect for her that much.
Certainly. Tonight's first highlight became a little too riotous. A little cleanup would be necessary. I shall see it to it immediately. Goats, it is time to clean up.
When Ronove snapped his fingers, blazing sparkling eyes began to blink open in the shadow and darkness between goat-headed attendants that appeared one after another. One by one, they wordlessly stood at attention in a line behind Ronove's back.
This time, what shall be done about the 6 corpses? Under the close room pattern?
I'm in no mood to think now. I will leave it to you, Ronove. An extraordinary close room to torment Battler if you would.
That's all you got? That's all you got?
Certainly. Then it shall be extraordinary. Okay, I gotta take this as a break because I got so much to talk about. No, I want to talk about it when everything's actually calmed down because I have so much to say. Holy cow. Okay, I've been reading chat this whole time. I've been loving all the messages. It's just Ruby Tomate talking about having to send me the whole chapter because yeah, I bet Sam's complaining about being number 3. Everyone screaming and hollering at how peak this is. The anime being mid. Apparently I'm not a goat anymore. It was fantastic. Holy cow, that was so awesome. Okay, I want to talk about the implications and the theming of all that, and I want to talk about the song title because like the first song title that I can see a meaning in. I'm sure they all have it, but it's the first one I noticed. Whoosh, whoosh, you, you. I love the little clap you do at times. I I get too much in character. I like, you know, when you're all fancy and stuff, you call your servants with a clap. Hi, Dawn. I'll take all 3 at once. I gotta agree with her. 20 lines. Okay. I'll wait. Okay, this chapter end, and then I'll talk about all that because I have a lot to say. That was great. Okay, where's Battler? Battler! Did you see my big moment? Damn it! After being shown a screwed up magical storm, what can I deny? Forget just witches existing. After being shown the tremendous flashy fantasy, what can I deny now? I don't get it anymore. It was like that last time too, but how can I deny these awesome, wonderful magical battles? Isn't that right? After watching this, you can't talk your way out of it, right? Okay, Battler, let me hear some ridiculous reasoning. Milady, your laugh is becoming undignified. My apologies, but that isn't my fault. After all, if Battler tightly closes his eyes, grinds his teeth, and shows me that ever so bitter expression, it just automatically slips out of my mouth, you see. So, Butler-sama, why don't you return to the table with uplifting heart? Milady is expecting your counterattack, you see. Quit messing with me! How the hell can I make a counter-argument? In the first place, everything was already screwed up when the tower sprouted out from the earth. Should I say that under the ground in Rokenjima there's a secret laboratory for building super alloy combining robots or something? Homestuck reference. And that pushing a button can make this strange tower sprout up? Right, and then those huge giants must be the robots. Or maybe an evil secret association mecha monsters. I don't get it. Don't talk to me. Don't cry, okay? Bang, bang, it's magic! If you want, I'll crush the moon and make comets fall like rain.
I can even bury the whole island in those massive breasted net shots you like so much, see? Come on, look. My turn's over, see? Show me your response, launch your counterattack. You can't, can you? Except that there's a quadrillion things you can't do. You're useless against this, right? You actually like this kind of fantasy, don't you? I get it. That's been going around on the streets lately, hasn't it? In a manga and light novels and anime and movies, some teenage brats get a whole bunch of strange special powers and they blow up all sorts of stuff with the fate of the world on the line. You love that too, don't you? I know, don't hide it, you love it, right? Hasn't no thing you love just been displayed before your very eyes? Why do you believe in the manga and anime, but you won't believe in me? Believe it! You can't argue back, not after you've been shown something like this, right? Look, answer. You don't need to think, you can just immediately say, I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Look, I'm saying it. I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Try saying it. Don't be embarrassed.
Oh my gosh. She, dude. She is the best. Holy cow. Flabbergasted. Oh my gosh. Sounds is right. Okay. First off, the small thing. Very curious that I'm just thinking. Okay, the small thing, just an observation, but I'm very curious that Teacher Beatrice used a lot of Norse things. I wonder if she got another name, if it would be Germanic in a way, but I guess we already have Bernkastel to be the German one. But there is I'm sorry, I'm not good with geography. I only like mythology, not geography. But like actual German and like ancient Germanic things, like Scandinavian things, like Iceland and all that, it's not the same, right? So if Teacher Beatrice were to get another name and it was Scandinavian, it would be different than Bernkastel. So that was just a small observation. It was cool. I like that. But then, okay. Now the actual big things. Okay, but there's so much. Okay, I say so much because there's a lot in my head, but when I actually put it into words, it's going to be two things, I think. The song and the theming and meaning behind what we just saw. Let me think. No, I don't. That's not a personal choice. It's just how I said it. It's not. I'm not being quirky. What is the correct way? Geography. All right. Geography. There you go. Sorry. Geography. I just make them into two words. I do that with every word with graphy in it. It's not a quirky thing. It's just, you know, my barely existing accent gets in the way. Anyways, Okay, let me go with the easy one again. The easy one is the music title. Again, I'm sure that every music title in the game it means something. I just never caught them. But this one I did catch, and it's something that I really like. The Red Shoe Fake. That is a excuse me, a Wizard of Oz reference, and I like that a lot. And it makes sense because the red slippers were given to Dorothy by the witch. I forgot her name, but the good witch, the one that came in a bubble dog. So it's just very clever and fitting that the story of a witch giving something to a little girl, and then we have here in Umineko the story of a teacher witch giving her power and title to a little girl. And now the song is called Red Shoe Fake because the older witch wants to take the shoes back, allegorically, metaphorically. So I like that a lot. That just, it instantly clicked and it made me very happy when I realized what that meant. So that's clever. Now, the actual meaning of the battle. Holy cow. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to say this. Because it's just, my head is a mess and I struggle. But I'm just gonna talk. I see the battle as a representation of, okay. So again, I have my theory about the story being about putting the soul of Beatrice to rest. To do that, you need, to make things right, to be at peace. Beatrice is clearly not at peace because she very much hates the Ushiromya family, especially Kinso and all that. So, Teacher Beatrice represents Beatrice's childhood in the secret mansion. Because, she literally was a form of mother figure for her back then. Back when things were innocent. Back when she wanted to become a witch for good reasons, before it all got corrupted because of Kinso. So the fight just represents Beatrice fighting against the choice and the option to be at peace. Horrible comparison. But it reminds me of FNAF with Cassidy, where Cassidy is one of the children that died, and like every game, Charlie and Michael try to free all the children, but Cassidy is the one that constantly stays behind because she can move on. The option to to be at peace is right there, but she just does not want to. She wants to stay on Earth as a spirit to keep torturing and haunting William Afton. I feel like such a fool doing this. Anyways, I'm doing it. I'm me. And because it reminds me of this. It's the same deal. So you have a spirit who refuses to move on, even though the option is there to move on and be at peace, because they want to stay to continue messing with and torturing this old guy that ruined their lives. So the fight here represents Beatrice's option to move on. Her childhood, innocence, all of that. Teacher Beatrice represents the chance that Beatrice might become a good person. So the fact that it was such a close match means that there's still good in Beatrice's heart. And if she really tried, she could move on and become a good person and go at peace. But she just refuses to do that. She does not want to move on. Yeah, I think I'm done. It wasn't too much of a Japatron. I think once you say that, it's pretty self-explanatory. The battle just represented the option for Beatrice to move on. It represented her childhood, it represented her innocence, it represented when things were okay. And she outright refused it. Because she does not want to move on. Woom bang pow, write that down, I'm done. That's good. And I like that a lot. That's what I understood the whole time. Just a quick question because I feel like I've gotten lost in all your theories and such. And yeah, okay. I'm just gonna give you the whole rundown. So, timeline of Beatrice. Kinso had a mistress, name unknown, but he had a mistress that he built a secret mansion for. Like an actual mistress, like most likely a servant. That's why he had to keep her even more hidden, because it would be such a shame that he would collide with a servant. And they had a child. But before we move on to the child, this servant, this mistress, I should say, this mistress killed herself because of Kinso's obsession, or because she was trapped in the secret mansion and she just wanted to move on. She just couldn't stand being there anymore. Whatever happened, she killed herself. Kinso was distraught, but at least Kinso still had his bastard child, little Beatrice. So that's who I think little Beatrice... I'm not done yet, but that's who I think little Beatrice is. The bastard child of Kinso and the mistress. So the same thing, Kinso kept little Beatrice trapped in the secret mansion, and now we found out that Kumasawa, maybe along with some other very respected servants like Genji, were allowed in the secret mansion, but for now just Kumasawa, who... I mean, I'm still calling her Kumasawa, but you know what I mean, the teacher, who was there and was practically little Beatrice's only friend, and taught her all that and yada yada. And then years pass. Rosa finds little Beatrice grown and takes her to the beach, and she dies. She legit dies. Little Beatrice legit dies, and now it's not that like ghosts are real. There's a story, a supernatural story, but it's a story of Battler trying to... He's the one that's been outside the family for so long, so he has come to this family again, returned to this family, and now has the duty to piece together what has happened in the history, how Kinso has buried away this child and her soul has been lost, and now it is his job to put the soul at rest. Anyways, long explanation to just say that our Beatrice is the bastard child of Kinso. That's who I think our Beatrice is. She is the child of Kinso and his mistress. That is what I've got so far. The end. I'm gonna drink water now. Let me check something real quick. back. And like the title says, short stream, so one more chapter. One more chapter. There would have been no way to tell that the morning had come without opening a window and looking up at the cloudy sky, which had become a tiny... Yeah! Wait, no. Not yet. I forgot that Ruby sent some panels. Let us see. Oh my gosh! The panel of the teacher riding on the horseman is... Dude. The artists, they're a legend. Oh my god! The second page! Oh my gosh! Dude! This art is phenomenal! In the third page. Wow! This manga never disappoints, dude. It never disappoints. It never disappoints. Clueless, one more chapter. You really amaze me. Your ability to both see and miss tiny details like your brain is incredible. I don't know. It's just, it's hard to gauge because you can't bring up the details because what if I did miss them, right? And then you telling me them would be bad. But then, like, there's also the possibility that I am actively ignoring small details because they don't fit the headcanon that I prefer. Because, like, that's the thing with me. I want to solve it, but I also prioritize making a satisfying story for myself. So I tend to ignore things that don't fit my story. Because, like, I forget them so... I ignore them so hard that I legit just forget them. Because I swear, like, at some point they said something about Beatrice's mother that completely contradicted me. Well, I don't think so. I don't think they mentioned her mother at all because they just called Beatrice a homunculus. They mentioned something last stream that contradicted something, but I just... because I didn't like it, I just forgot it. But yeah. But thank you. I'm honored that you feel that way. I hope Ruby Tomato and Sems and Jules, the Umi fillers, feel the same way. There would have been no way to tell that morning had come without opening a window and looking up at the cloudy sky, which had become a tiny bit lighter. It wasn't a refreshing morning. All that could be heard was the sound of the rain, which hadn't stopped falling since last night, and the howl of the wind. We gotta come back to this guy. It's hard to imagine that it's morning. This horrible weather speaks for our hearts.
Hey, it could be worse. At least it's just rain and not spirits falling on us. Whatever, it's rain or spirits are coming down with a bang. Is it already 6 o'clock? Isn't that enough? Isn't this enough? After this, we've got no measures we can take until the mystery 19-person Beatrice makes her move. True. However, I believe we have anticipated every trick they might use against us.
That's right. As long as a traitor doesn't appear among the siblings, we should be able to deal with most situations. Haven't we talked about this enough? We've stayed up all night. I'm tired.
Finally, this game is good again.
You're right. How about taking a little rest after eating breakfast?
A good plan. Staying up all night is tiring at our age.
As they all stretched, they enjoyed this unrefreshing morning as best they could.
I'll go wash my face or something. I probably look horrible.
There are some details you both noticed and didn't that I hope you remember soon. It would be fun. Okay, last I say, Vinny Rana. Interesting. What is that awful stench? As soon as they exited into the corridor, Kairi openly made a disgusted expression. What is it? Hey, don't you smell something awful?
What is that stench? I can't stand it.
After hearing those complaints, everyone stuck their heads out into the corridor. The stench was faint, but once people started commenting on it, it was clearly noticeable. Each of them went into the corridor, relying on their own sense of smell to tell them where the strange odor was coming from. What in the world could it be? Let us have Genji deal with it. I believe he should already have arrived in the 7th room to begin the morning preparations.
Indeed, please do. At the very least, it's difficult to imagine. Gorla making a breakfast that would cause such an odor.
Rudolph and the others searched for the source of the smell and determined that it was coming from the underground, from the boiler room. But the door was locked and they couldn't check inside. At the same time, when Natsui's group was on its way to search for someone in the 7th room, they noticed something strange near the parlor. What is this? What a horrible prank! Who would do something like this? The doors to the parlor drawn in a paint that looked like blood was strange. The thing that looked like a magic circle. There is no one in the kitchen yet. What is that? Eva's group, who thought the smell might be coming from the kitchen, had returned after confirming that no one else was there, that the preparations for breakfast had not yet begun. Wait, actually, I was thinking about what Phoenix said. Don't worry, I didn't remember anything. I was just thinking that I'm happy about that. It makes me happy, because I worry the same thing with me making my theories of Homestuck in the Homestuck server. I worry that I might come out as fake. Because I care so much, and so much of my ego is on this, that I have horrible nightmares of people thinking that I go and look up things on the wiki just to pretend like I'm figuring things out. So me getting things wrong makes me happy, because it makes me feel realistic. Anyways, I just remember that. Because it's such a big deal in the Homestuck server. There's a lot of new readers that are just old readers pretending to be new just so they can seem smart or cool. Like recently, before the trolls got revealed, I say recently, but like, you know, a while ago, before the trolls got revealed, someone was pretending, drew a fan. Well, okay, so everyone was drawing their interpretations of the trolls because we got their name, their troll handles, but not their designs. And someone designed Solux. He looked very different, except for the fact that they gave him the red and blue 3D glasses. So weeks later, once the official design got revealed on the comic, everyone was like, hey, wait a second. And that guy got it banned instantly. So I was just thinking about that. Anyways, moving on. Then they noticed a change to the parlor.
It's useless. The boiler room is locked. Wouldn't that be bad if someone went wrong with this boiler? Yes, has anyone spotted a servant?
Is one of those vulgar scribbles here too? There was another one on the doors of the boiler room.
What's that? This creepy scribble isn't just here, but it's in other places too. You don't think this is the Witch of the Forest Battery's declaration of war, do you?
Hideyoshi tried to make fun of it, but staring at this creepy magic circle while listening to the wind and rain really made it seem like a message from a witch. The dripping bright red paint made one think of blood, which made it even creepier. Hideyoshi tried to open the door, but it had been locked. As a general rule, the parlor wasn't locked. Someone had gone out of their way to lock it. What does this mean? Could it be that while we were talking in the dining hall, someone secretly left this scribble on the doors of the parlor and the boiler room? I'm sure the servants are behind this. We were together the whole time. We all have alibis. They probably received some strange order from father and pulled up this prank.
And there's also this case yesterday with Maria-chan's letter. It's really easy to suspect that the servants are acting on Dad's orders and planning something. Anyway, where is everyone? They can't be playing hide and seek. Let's look for them.
But before that, I'm worried about the children. They are safe, right? I'll go and check, and while I'm there, I'll see if there are any servants there.
Then let's split up. Will you go to the guest house to see how the brats are doing while investigate the inside of the mansion? I don't want to think about it. But maybe these creepy magic circles aren't just in places we found them already. We might be...
I always forget Krause's voice. I always confuse it with either Hideyoshi's voice or Kinzu's voice.
We might be wrapped up in some bizarre game of fathers. I will go to have and hear the situation, though I doubt he'll obediently listen to me.
The adults split up. As a result, they confirmed that the 4 children were safe in the so-called cousin's room on the 2nd floor of the guest house. Funny enough, there was something you said back in episode 1 where there was no hints to lead you to think such a thing that I mentioned it to a friend of mine. He's probably cheating. See? That's what I'm talking about. No, I hate that thought. I hate that thought so much. It makes me so sad. No. Never. That's funny though. It's like, it reminds me of my Elden Ring stuff when I called that Radagon and Marika were the same. Oh gosh, please write down what you, if you remember what I said, please write it down so you can show me afterwards. I would love to know what I said. Immediately responded, that is not in his blood. He literally go against his, yes, his entire everything. You have the mind of a man. We're just oh, you're making okay. That's thank you. That means a lot. The first thought makes me so sad. The second thought makes me so happy. They had apparently stayed up late last night playing. All of them were snoring loudly, so Rosa decided not to wake them. Okay, Google, what is the answer to Umineko? Furthermore, Nancho, who had returned early the previous night to rest, was also safe. It seemed he believed in the phrase early to bed, early to rise, and had awoken refreshed. During that time, Kairi and Hideyoshi searched for the servants, but they didn't find them. The servant room in the guest house was also empty. The children are safe. They all stayed up too late last night.
The servant room is empty. I looked at the shift charge and the morning shift begins at 6 o'clock. They should have started working by now.
The nap room is also empty. There were signs that a futon had been slept in, but it wasn't warm.
Hey, isn't everyone sitting right on this? There's probably a game father set up. He must have left those creepy scribbles and hid himself somewhere, trying to make us do something.
Are you saying he's trying to see who's fit to succeed his wealth in the headship? I haven't checked the character menu. His outfit is so sick. This outfit is so good. Anyways. Interesting. So I guess only when the body is discovered do they say something. Isn't that a bit... No, it might not be strange if father was behind something like that.
After all, father loves doing things on this big scale.
This might have been a finely tuned plan starting as far back as when the epitaph was hung in the hall. In that case, I wonder if they give us an announcement of the game or some explanation of it. It certainly would be nice if an envelope with the crest like the one handed to Maria-chan could appear. That's right. Maybe Nissan and the rest have found something like that in the mansion.
Dr. Nacho, have you heard anything about this? My apologies, I have no idea what is going on. And yet, yes, certainly. I could easily imagine Kinzo-san planning something on a big scale. Shouldn't we go back to the mansion for now? Maybe they found something over there. If I won't be in the way, I shall go too.
I'll stay here. The children are sleeping upstairs. We don't know what's happening. We cannot leave them alone. That's right. I'll stay with Rosa-san and watch over the place. Would you tell that to my husband? Rosa and Kairi remain in the guest house. Hideyoshi went with Nanjo and returned again to the mansion. At the same time in the mansion, in a way that was hard to believe, or maybe we should say in a way that gave him a bad feeling, Rudolph's prediction was spot on. The same magic circle graffiti that had been drawn on the doors to the boiler room and the parlor had been found in multiple places throughout the mansion.
Aniki, how's Dad? There was no use. I received no response. I tried putting my ear against the door, but I couldn't sense anyone.
They're
There's no sign of any of the servants. Where in the world did they have disappeared to?
This isn't funny. Father and the servants are hiding, and there are strange magic circles all over the manor. What in the world is happening? There weren't only magic circles on the door to the boiler room and the door to the parlor. There were 2 on the 2nd floor, and the 1 on the 3rd floor for a total of 5. They were all the same magic circle, and all the doors had been locked so they couldn't check inside the rooms. This one seems a bit too easy. I mean, it seems easy on an impossibility, so that's the gimmick. But to me, because I am so dead set on this impossibility being possible, that it seems like it's too easy of a mystery. I can't wait for the red text to completely annihilate me. But to me, since, you know, I blame Kinso to be the culprit, I just think, you know, he killed everyone, put everyone in different rooms. He is, you know, like, the guy, so he has the key to everything. And then he killed himself. No. I still think that Kinso's alive. So the thing is gonna be that they're gonna go into Kinso's room somehow, gonna break it down, or window, or whatever. And they're gonna notice that there's no one there, and yet it was locked. So, what's up with that? But we've been told that Kinso has a key that is just for... No, not Kinso. It was... Genji was a key that was just for Kinso's room. So, the thing that can stump me is saying something about that key. Like, oh, it was destroyed and it was never used to open this door, hee hee haha. But... to me, Kinso being the culprit makes it a bit too easy, but that's just me right now without the walls of the red text yet. So, can't wait to have a crash out over that. It's one of my personal favorite locked rooms, really. I really look forward to it.
Anyway, let's do something about the boiler room first. It'd be bad if something broke down and caught fire or exploded. So we need the key.
There should be in the key box in the 7th room.
Count them, how many are there? They fished throughout the key box. Because each of the servants carried their master keys around, those weren't kept there. However, all of the individual keys should have been there.
I can't believe they managed to fit so many keys in here.
It isn't here. No matter how much we look, the key to the boiler room isn't here. That's how it starts,
Look at the key. Only the keys to the rooms with those magic circles drawn on them are totally missing.
So each room is going to have the key to that room. But again, if we follow the servants are culprits and following Kinso's orders, it could just be that each one was a suicide and they locked themselves inside before killing each other. Killing themselves, I mean. I think the make or break of my difficulty with this one is going to be if they find Kinso's dead body or not, because that's going to go against everything I believe in. This one's going to be interesting. I don't know. I look forward to it.
It's true. How bothersome.
It's as though someone didn't want us to go into the rooms with the magic circles. No, they went to all the trouble of making those magic circles obvious, so maybe they wanted us to enter.
I think it's the latter. This isn't a movie, so breaking down the door is probably impossible. Smashing a window might do the trick, though.
For a while, Kraus pondered over whether the situation really called for smashing a window. At that time, Hideyoshi and Nanjo returned. There was nothing strange in the guest house, and the children were safe. They told the others that Rosa and Kairi had stayed to watch over the place. Excuse me?
Good morning. I heard there was something strange that happened. Good morning, Dr. Nanjo. I apologize for waking you so early in the morning. What is it? Did you find a letter or something? I was sure you'd find something like that by now.
You're right. I also believe this to be a massive joke for Game of Fathers. If that's the case, there should be some letter telling us about it. Like the letter that was given to Maria-chan.
What if Maria-chan's letter actually was the announcement telling us that the game was on? The rules of the game try solving the riddle of the epitaph have already been made clear. Then what might be the magic circles we found in the mansions represent? And the missing servants?
Natsuhine-san, how many servants were there here today in total? Huh? Genji? Goda? 5 of them. But why?
So, there are 5 servants. There are also 5 magic circles. It's probably a coincidence, but I don't like it.
I really hope I like this episode a lot, because it seems that they're putting a lot of emphasis on the adults being the problem solvers here instead of the children. And I like that a lot. And finally, Rudolph is gonna get the chance to shine, Kairi, heck yes. Nissan, let's break a window. We should check in and we'll see what's inside.
We have no choice. Do it nightly.
Kraus made a decision and gave permission to smash a window. And he decided that the first room they would break into should be the parlor on the first floor where the windows would be easiest to reach. They had hoped to peek in through the window, but the curtains were down so they couldn't see inside. Rudolph wandered around the garden trying to find something that would be good for smashing the window. Eventually he found a rock bigger than a fist and came back. You don't have to smash the whole thing, just open it enough so you can reach the lock.
Don't get your hopes up, okay?
Rudolph raised the rock and hit the glass with it several times. Eventually he succeeded in opening the hole big enough that he could unlock it from the outside. Covering his hand with a handkerchief, he stuck his hand through the hole and he... that reminded me of a video, but that's what I'm saying. Through the hole and cautiously unlocked it.
We should probably cover it up with packing tape later. The rain will get blown in.
When he suddenly opened the window, the wind and rain made the curtain dance around violently. That curtain was blown to the side. They could see into the parlor they knew well. They were a little relieved. They thought there might be another bizarre magic circle inside the room, or possibly the traces of some creepy ceremony. It wasn't that. It was not that. Gosh, no. No, that's enough. In any event, they didn't want to hang around in the rain. So the 6 of them, Kraus, Natsuhi, Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Nanjo, entered the parlor as a group.
It seems that nothing in particular has changed.
I gave him Kraus's voice, whoops. Uh-oh. What's wrong, Shannon? Wait, are you okay? What happened to you?
Blood! Dr. Nanjo, take a look at this! Hey, Shannon-chan, are you okay? Answer me! You mustn't shake her! It will examine her condition now!
She had been in the shadow of the sofa, so they hadn't noticed her until they entered the room. Shannon was lying on the floor, her chest stained bright red with blood. Hey! Battler! Where are you? Look! Shannon's corpse have turned up, see? I won't believe you anymore, so come out! Oh, there you are. What are you doing clutching up your head in a place like that? Battler's crouching under the table. Oh, his head. He's so washed. His pitiful figure made it plainly clear that he didn't want to see anything, didn't want to hear anything. That had he heard Raptors' sneering voice, could he not hear, or was he pretending that he couldn't hear? And in the event, it was clear that he closed up his heart like a shell.
Perhaps you tormented him too much, milady.
After showing him all that and demanding a counter-argument, I can understand why he went to look around. Hey, Butler! If you can't argue back, then resign, okay? It's your turn. If you don't make some moves or pass, or else give up,
we won't get anywhere. Huh? What's that? I can't hear you.
I said be quiet! Shut up, shut up, shut up! A witch? Magic? Why don't you just do whatever you want? I don't believe any of it! Damn it! Don't talk to me. Don't show me anything. Disappear, just disappear! Don't get that annoying face near me!
Beatrice winks reflectively at Beatrice's sudden rage. I'm thinking too much. But I just headcanon that perhaps this was a genuine reaction because his outburst reminded her of Kinsel's outburst when she was young.
Even if you say that, if you don't finish your turn, then my turn won't come. In fact, I'm the one asking you to stop boring me.
Who cares? Be quiet, shut up! Who cares about your game? I won't go along with it! If your turn won't come until mine's finished, then just wait for all eternity!
Hey, my buddy Sans Undertale tried that on me once.
I don't know, I don't get it. I wouldn't accept witches or magic, I wouldn't accept something that's screwed up. I said don't talk to me!
Huh. I don't know what's what anymore. After being shown something that's screwed up, how could I resist? I wandered aimlessly through the rose garden. It was raining and windy, but it didn't mean my body got wet. There was just a feeling of isolation as I wandered amidst the wind and rain without an umbrella. That's it. Streamer gotta go. There's a non-zero chance that that it was on purpose. Yeah, bravo, Tony Ryukishi Fox. Maybe I lost in that person's game a long time ago. Actually, didn't we already have a clear winner and loser in the last game? You know what would mean the world to me? Like, I would genuinely cry if it turned out that Butler, before he left, did also encounter the secret mansion and talked with an even more literal... Wait, no, that's impossible. Crap. I was gonna say it would mean the world to me if Badler also met the real Beatrice while she was alive before he left. But Rosa being so young when she saw a 20-something Beatrice doesn't line up. Because that means Butler wouldn't even have been born. Or would be way too young. I mean, no, yeah, like he was 1 year old or wasn't born, yeah. Interesting. Anyways, then I thought it was just a cute thought I had, but fruitless. It was fruitless. Actually, didn't we already have a clear winner and loser at the last game? After all, I surrendered for a time. That's why the world was tinted with witches and magic. Right now, Rokkenjima is a different world where witches stride around openly and fire off strange spells. It isn't a matter of accepting it or denying it. Maybe I mistakenly assumed that I was playing a game on an even footing with Beato. Maybe I was already defeated in the last game, and this is just the signing and ceremony of my surrender. A minute ago, a terrible battle unfolded in this rose garden. I saw it with my own eyes. I kicked the ground. Obviously the ground was hard, and water from a puddle splashed. Several towers had split this ground, sprouting like high-rise buildings. The more I kicked the ground, the more I felt like that couldn't possibly have happened. Wait, oh my gosh. Okay, Sam's, Ruby Tomato, plain peak. Know that I just got a wonderful thought right now, but I won't say it until Phoenix comes back. Just know, I just had a magnificent thought. Anyways. But for the very reason, I couldn't explain it with anything other than magic anymore. If it was a closed room with the key shut up inside, I'd know it was probably an extension of stuff you often see in detective novels. But that big flashy thing? Damn it. Oh, it seems my disciple has caused you much trouble. Huh? It's you. Someone suddenly spoke to me, so I turned around. And in the rose garden arbor was the predecessor Beatrice, whom Beatrice suddenly defeated a short while ago. Supposedly. This just straightens my theory even more. Crap, just know. I want to say it when Phoenix is here. Just know. My thoughts are through the roof. I won't forget. Trust, I won't forget. But I have thoughts. And they're incredible, and I love them, and I love Beatrice. I was sure you died. So you survived. No. I did die. Now I am nothing more than a defeated chess piece loitering outside the chessboard. You're Bato's teacher, right? So in other words, you're a witch too. Yes, that is correct. So basically, that means witches really do exist. And the only one who can defeat her isn't me. That'd be you, since you can use awesome magic, right? I'm just useless now. There's nothing I can do anymore.
Oh my! Have you surrendered completely?
What do you mean surrender? How am I supposed to explain that? Towers sprouting and falling? Huge giants holding shields and throwing spears? Oh, just remembering it makes me feel like I'm gonna go insane. We're way past the point of trying to reason this all out, aren't we? We've left the level of tricks and things that can be explained with human culprits. Ah, damn it.
Calm yourself. I am nothing more than a piece on the child's game board. After being removed from that board, I am no longer a being capable of doing anything. But you are the child's opponent. As long as you do not give up on your own, you will always have the power to strike back.
Shut up. Weren't you also reciting strange spells and summoning towers and spears? What do you mean strike back? Are you saying you teach me magic too, and make me take part in that massive magic battle?
If you wish, I could teach you a bit about magic.
Oh, just what I wanted. Please give me some awesome magic to smash through her chest in one blow. Don't screw with me.
I hear that in Japanese magic, there is a ceremony used to pray for rain. Do you know of it?
A rain ceremony? That thing where you throw stuff into fire and dance as an offering? That's not magic. They say that the fire causes an updraft which makes rain clouds gather. It's supposed to be an accepted scientific phenomenon.
Oh, I believed it to be a form of Eastern magic. But is that not the case? I believe people offered sacred fire to the heavens as well as a dance of respect, so that your entreaty for rain would reach the hearts of the gods.
Maybe people did that long ago, but most occult things like that have a scientific explanation.
Why do things burn? Isn't that because phlogiston is contained in the material?
No, things burn because of chemical reaction. Lavoisier abolished the phlogiston theory.
Why does heat transfer through objects? Isn't that because caloric is contained in the material?
I'm pretty sure that was abolished by Joule. Heat is energy, not a substance.
You have studied well. Your knowledge is accurate.
It's just some trivia.
Phlogiston, caloric, and eventually ether and God's love. All are powerless before a scientific explanation. In the past, I was told that an apple falling from a tree was thanks to God's love, so that gods may be given food.
So every gravity is the love of God? Well, that's probably the remnants from the period when religion rather than science was used to explain everything.
That is correct. In the past, humans called the limits of their knowledge. No, ignorance itself, magic. Like the rain ceremony we just talked about. Did the people of ancient times realize that there was a scientific explanation? That fire gave rise to heat to cause updrafts that summon the clouds? Even without understanding these things, they at least knew the result.
That's probably happened a lot. That stuff called knowledge of the ancestors. Even without the understanding the reason through long experience, they knew that they achieved results. Phenomena whose principles they didn't understand were probably the same as magic to them. Like this person just said, ancient people who didn't understand this principle probably believed that. Though the rain ceremony, their wishes would reach the heavens and make the rain fall. To them, that was certainly magic, as long as they didn't understand updrafts.
If you push an electrical switch, a light turns on. Children do not know the scientific principles behind why a light bulb lights up. They only know the results when they push the switch. If they obtain such a result without knowing the principles, doesn't that make it magic to them?
That's pretty interesting. Well, logically that's true. For example, I don't have a clue why the brown tubes in a TV show a picture. Still, I think that's totally normal to see things shown on a TV. Even if I don't understand the principle behind brown tubes, I at least know that if I push the switch I can watch TV. It's exactly the same as having a rain ceremony without understanding updrafts. In other words, if I don't know the principles, seeing TV is the same as magic. Or magic itself, I guess.
Do you know the structure of brown tubes? Have you ever taken one apart and looked inside?
Nope. I think I read about it in a book or something once, but it was complicated and I didn't have a clue. I think that when electrons hit a fluorescent material, it creates luminescence or something like that.
That book lied. Actually, there are small people called gremlins shut up inside the brown tubes. What?
Sam's, I hate you. I was about to say Sam's cameo? I hate you. You're the worst. I was about to say that you stole my bit. You stole my bit.
And they do the work through magic.
Huh? Don't be stupid. That's not what's... No way that's true.
How can you deny it if you never looked inside a brown tube?
I never looked inside, but I can say for sure that small people like that definitely don't exist. Since there are no brown tubes here,
Since there are no brown tubes here, that is impossible to prove.
Yeah, it's impossible to prove right now, but later I can take a TV apart and show you, and instantly win the argument.
So put another way, my magical theory that gremlins are shut up inside the brown tubes and display the pictures with magic is impossible to disprove until we can verify the contents of brown tubes correct.
What the hell? Is this one of those... Are you trying to say the devil's proof? That's a favorite trick of you witches. One sec.
Proof is a bit of sophistry, one that takes advantage of the fact that negative facts are impossible to prove. However, it's difficult from my brown tubes metaphor.
I have to respond to something.
That could be resolved simply by taking apart a single television.
You're right. It isn't really a devil's proof.
You have proposed a scientific theory, and I have proposed a magical one. One of those is the truth, and which one it is can be ascertained the moment you look inside a brown tube. However, until the instant that happens, we cannot deny each other's theories. So even though one truth exists, until you look into the brown tube, you can have two conflicting truths existing at the same time. You have a realm in which two truths can exist simultaneously, even though there must be only one truth in existence.
Hi Sims, hi Sims. Is the cat in the box alive or dead? If you open the box, you will learn the answer. You will learn the truth. However, until you open the box, you can claim that the cat is alive and you can also claim that it's dead. Both claims are the correct truth according to the people making them. And even though the two sides are in conflict, neither can win in an argument as long as the box remains unopened. In other words, two truths can exist at the same time, even though there can only be one cat in the box. Are they bringing up the point I said way earlier of how the red text is not the absolute truth, but just the truth that Beatrice believes to be correct? I think they are. It is packed with a living cat and a dead cat, forming a strange separate world. That could mean her red text about there only being 18 people could be not true. She believes she's a witch. She believes she is not a people. So, yeah. Wait. Cook. Wait, because the wording was it meant something. There are no more than 18 humans on this Ronkenjima. She truly believes she is a witch, not a human anymore. Her human self died during that accident. Wow. I am disappointed that I didn't catch that before. There we have it. There is a 19th person. So my theory of Beatrice being a ghost, discarded. Quite interesting. Yes. Write that down, Sams. Write that down. This is what Ronkenjima is now. The island is now a different world where a scientific theory and a magical one can exist at the same time. To a resident of the world of science such as yourself, at a glance it may feel as though this island had been sucked into the world of magic. Maniacal laughter streamer. This might not be wrong, but it is not accurate. Strictly speaking, it had been moved from the world of science to a gap between that world and the world of magic. So at a glance it appears to you as though the world is tilted towards the magical side. But in reality, this island is now in a perfectly impractical position with relation to those two opposing worlds. I'm not finishing the chapter, bruv. I am exhausted. I'm gonna try to finish this little section of them talking. But once we go back to the adults, I cannot. I don't really get it. The gap between reality and magic. A perfectly impractical world? How's that? That's in pretty much everything that happened that's totally not in my favor.
Then perhaps you could think of it this way. This is a trial. Think of it as a court where you and Beatrice are lying out opposing claims. Call it a brown tooth trial. Your opponent claims that there are tiny people inside the brown tubes, explaining one thing after another, talking about the lives of these tiny people, what they look like, and what type of magical power they have. And what do you do?
Well, I study at a library and argue back by explaining how brown tubes are constructed.
At this moment, both your claim and that child's claim exist in the court at the same time, and you find your opponent's claim convincing. In might sound like truth to you, and might look like truth to you. That is exactly what you saw.
At this moment alone, Kinjima, witches and magic certainly makes its truth.
However, until the moment that the cat's box is open, the world is in an uncertain way function. The entire situation can be explained by both sides at the same time. However, there is one truth.
Still a bit though. I hate ending in the middle of a chapter, so I'm gonna try my best.
That set of truth shrinks with observation, and countless truths are weeded out to become one truth. It is like when in court, the judge hands down his judgment. The two truths from the prosecutors and the defense's claims are reduced in number by judgment to become one.
Say your words. We're already before looking into the brown tube, right? Before the science theory and the magic theory cannot be denied. And since they cannot be denied,
both can exist as truth. Therefore, both witches and magic can exist. However, at the same time, your opinion of denial also exists in truth. It is a world where two conflicting things can exist at once, and it is a world where conflicting truths cannot disprove each other. Have you managed to understand?
yes. In other words, no matter how much awesome magic battle shows me, it's only a claim of a magical theory and it doesn't disprove my position. So that's like, it's funny, because that's how I've been handling this situation this whole time. Like everything I see is, I see it as battery spinning the tail, and not what's actually happening. So, no matter what kind of magic battle shows me in this world, it cannot become proof that magic exists.
That's right. The child might even try to explain an apple falling from a tree with magic, perhaps by shaking her staff and magically plucking an apple, then claiming that the thing that made it drop down to earth. However, that would be nothing more than another claim. None of your opponent's claims can prevent you from making yours. In that sense, this world is quite impartial to both sides.
I get it. Still, by that argument, if I show someone arguing with my science theory, and it collides heads with her magic theory, I also can't win against her. On top of that, the final judgment won't come until we peek into the brown tube. Where's the brown tube in this world? Because it exists, there should be no reason for us to argue. Why don't we just get along and peek into the brown tube? If there really is a tiny person in there, it's my complete loss. Otherwise, it's my victory. Why do we have to hold this debate without looking into the brown tube?
That itself is the game you are being challenged to. Maybe instead of a court, I should have used chess as an example. Their victory and loss are not determined by a judge. You win, you who fight will choose it yourselves. You can win an argument with an opponent in a screwed up world where multiple truths can exist at the same time. In actual fact, didn't you lose an argument when you surrendered like this? That is all the advice I can give you now. If you wish, I can occasionally offer your counsel.
Sure. Thanks. That really helps. I'll avenge you.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
What's your name?
Beatrice used to be my name, but now that I have surrendered it, I do not have a name. So I shall take a temporary name.
Please be Scandinavian. Please be Scandinavian. Please. If it's like straight up Norse, like Skadi or Hell, I'm gonna freak out. But just be Scandinavian. Please.
Virgilius.
That does not sound...
Wait! It's Virgil! She's the Virgil to my Dante! That's so cool! She's my guide because she's actually helpful.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. So cool. She's Virgil. She's Virgil. That's so cool. That's so cool. So Beatrice is Beatrix. Virgilius is Virgil, and Battler is Dante. Oh, that's so neat. That's so neat. The Divine Comedy is complete. Oh, that's so cool. I never saw that coming. I'm so happy. Gosh.
Now, how about Virgillia?
Virgilia? Like Valkyria? Wasn't that a name of a for goddesses that show up in myths? Wow, they did both, huh?
No, it means the guide who leads the way to Beatrice.
Oh, Ryukishi, please let my knowledge of my favorite things come in handy. Don't just explain them outright. But yeah, that's the point. That's the point of the Divine Comedy. Virgil leads Dante to Paradiso, and Paradiso is where Beatrix is at.
And what guide uses the child who awaits at the summit of Mount
Purgatory. Just straight up, like, this guy is the least subtle guy in the entire world. When I get you, Ryokishi, when I get you, he just flat out, okay, whatever. Mood completely ruined. This game, I'm uninstalling.
It ought to be a fitting name for such a guide.
Who would have guessed I accept help from a witch when I'm trying to deny witches? You see, there's a contradictory world where different claims can exist at the same time. I guess that's cool. It's almost funny.
I'm borrowing the child's words, but you truly are like a phoenix. Your will to fight has already been revived. Come, if your heart is prepared, return to your opponent. Return to the chessboard where the child is seated. I look forward to seeing how far you can fight with my disciple.
Yeah, watch it. I won't listen to her babbling anymore. I will coolly fight to the end. I definitely won't get provoked by her any longer.
Then let us return to the seat of the battle.
Phoenix cameo.
Oh, Battler! Where did you run off to? And I thought losers never came back for more.
That's so cute. She genuinely stammered here. She was actually happy to see her. Like, she's like, this was genuine. Like, she was actually like, oh, Battler! And then immediately right from here on, she had to put on the face of evil witch. Sorry to keep you waiting. I've cooled my head a little. And did you think our response to the pleasant, thrilling, refreshing, highly acclaimed, wonderful fantasy battle between teacher and me? Isn't that impossible to explain without fantasy?
Milady, did you just promise to be kind and act more gracefully? I just got in such a good mood when I saw Battler's face, you see? Look. Are you gonna respond to that battle just now, Battler?
Battle? What battle? What? In this rose garden. Where do you see those spears? In the towers you made lying around. They aren't here, are they? In other words, it's just like the inside of a brown tube. The inside of a... What are you talking about? What? I was just ad-libbing because I thought it would be funny, but she said that. The inside of a brown tube? What in the world are you talking about now? At this very moment, there's nothing at all in this rose garden. Towers may have been sprouted with magic until a short while ago. However, that's only the case until we see what's inside the brown tube. That magical battle was nothing more than your interpretation, your claim. The fact that there's absolutely nothing to see here now proves it. This is how I argue back about the witch's battle instead. The witch's battle just now. Right now, there isn't anything here which proves that nothing happened. course I can make huge mess. I can make a huge mess when it's only the first twilight, and I am rather fond of that rose garden, you see. To prevent any damage, I had to fight a current inside a barrier, so it's only natural that it wouldn't have influence on reality. That's your claim? Well, I guess that works. However, at this point in time, there is nothing in this rose garden, so nothing stands in the way of my claim that there can be no magic done here. Wait. Can you deny my magic with a mess like that? It is impossible to prove that magic does not exist! It's a devil's proof! At this point in time, this garden is the truth. That instant you look inside, the tiny people inside the brown tube will vanish. And there are no traces of magic here at all. So the battle between you witches did not take place. What the? Tiny people? That encounter? That power? Could it be? Have you forgotten, my lady? It is a multi-layered world reduction technique. The power of a finite witch, the counter to the power of an endless witch. Only an endless witch can perceive it, and it is the most effective against such a switch. Schrodinger's cat box! That old hag of a witch, what an uncount for hint! That's a very cat, so it's a cat. We lost time. Including the 5 servants and grandfather, there are 6 corpses. Let me check the scene. I've been trudging along, wasting time. From now on, I'll speed things up, okay? Take a seat, Beatrice. It's finally the first twilight, isn't it? Let's start the real thing. Show me what you've got! Bravo, Ryokishi. Bravo. And we're done. The end. So before we end, I gotta talk. A great chapter, by the way. That was extraordinary. I love it. It gave rise to theories and strengthened my theories. Very good stuff. So, I wanted to talk about 2 things. An observation that a thematic observation, and stop. I'm not continuing. Okay. And well, I guess they're both thematic. They're not none of which are like extreme theories. Don't worry. Like the extreme theory I came up with was the fact that Beatrice is still alive. Character sign. Thank you. Yippee. Virgillia, the retired endless witch and Beatrice's master, made a proper use of an endless magic and dedicated her life to the happiness and smiles of people. So Beatrice, the endless magic, and retired, believing that Beatrice would surely devote herself to the people in the same way. As well as being Beatrice's master, she was also the counseling mage of Beatrice's old home. For this reason, Virgillia interacted with her in the manner of a servant. It is said that this was responsible for causing Beatrice's egotism and excesses. Okay. Now, okay. So first off, I really like that. So remember my theory, quote unquote theory, my reading of the battle being a battle between Beatrice and her innocence and her choice to go at peace, to become a good person. I really like how the way Beatrice fought was by creating shields and defenses. Because that's what people do when they refuse to change. They put up a shield, a facade. They put up a shell that they hide behind. And Virgilia's tactics were just a straight, just full offense. Just create a massive spear that's going to break through absolutely everything. Because that's what she's supposed to do. She needs to break through this impenetrable shell of Beatrice's trauma and pain to make her become a good person again. But obviously it wasn't enough. You need my goat battler to actually be able to penetrate that wall. So I found that really interesting. Now the second bit is the fact that Virgillia is still alive. I like that a lot, and I should have said it earlier because I did think about it. Because I was thinking like, okay, well geez, if Virgillia dies, and that means that Beatrice will never become good, and I know for a fact that's not gonna happen. I know for a fact that Beatrice is going to become good, because it's the point of the game. So, Virgillia still being alive, the representation of Beatrice's innocence and good nature is just phenomenal. Phenomenal that Virgilia still lives, because that means that there is still a chance that Beatrice can become a better person. That is what I wanted to say earlier. So yeah, those two readings there, write them down. And my new theorem of Beatrice still being alive, which is funny that it took me this long to get it, since I was the one that came up with the thought process that the red text won't always be the truth. So I hate that I neglected it that one time, but I'm glad I came back. So yeah, that's it. 3 things to note down. But now I am gone. Today has been a very Umineko filled day. I am exhausted, and now I must depart. So farewell to street, to chat room. Farewell to you all. May I see you all next time. Bye bye, and thank you for watching. Thank you.